Appetite for Records here, and I'm going to show off my jazz collection. Now, before I get started here, I was going to tell my history on jazz. And, growing up, I just mainly listened to top 40 hits. And pop, rock, metal, rap. Even though I listened to a lot of music that was influenced by jazz, I probably didn't realize it. Because I hated jazz as a kid. To me, it would just sound like a bunch of noise. Bunch of trumpets making weird noises and things. Now I love jazz. I think it's the greatest thing on earth. But a lot of old rap music was influenced by jazz, had jazz samples. Like two of my favorite old school rap CDs were by Tribe Called Quest, and they were heavily influenced by jazz. But I still didn't get into jazz. I'm in my 40s now, and I'm just now getting into jazz. Now I think it's so great. Now, what I'm going to show off here is some of these are not jazz. Some of these are just, they're in the category of jazz, but they're not really true jazz. And sometimes it's hard to put which records are jazz, which albums are big band. It gets kind of sketchy. So I decided not to pick Herb Alpert, even though he gets put into jazz, but I think he's big band, so I didn't pick. I have a lot of Herb Alpert albums too. And my first record that I'm going to show here is technically not jazz either. But I consider this the jazz equivalent of rock and roll, or the rock and roll equivalent of jazz. And that's Frank Zappa Hot Rats. Now on Discogs and Wikipedia, this gets put under jazz fusion as one of its categories, many categories. And this is my favorite album I own of any genre. So, and I'm gonna count it. And we have the quintessential Miles Davis Bitches Brew. That cover is as good as the music, if not better. It's so awesome. This is probably my favorite jazz album that I do own. Of strictly jazz. Now, I would like to have a bigger collection, but money. I have to get most of my records on budget. And I've only gone out record digging twice this year. So that kind of hurts my chances of getting any jazz. My only other Miles Davis is Kind of Blue on CD. I'm not really big on CDs. I'd rather get things on vinyl. Now, I have to get out of the mindset, though, that I need to own everything on vinyl. Some things were designed for vinyl. Some things were designed for CD. So the things that are designed for CD, I got to get out of the mindset that I have to own it. I think I paid like 10 cents for this or something, or 15 cents or something. Jazz Legends. Even though this more has what I consider more big band artists, like Benny Goodman, Dizzy Gillespie, Duke Ellington, Tommy Dorsey. Did I say Tommy Dorsey twice? Oh, I don't know. Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday. More of a classical jazz, but I think more big band, but I guess it's jazz. Chick Corea, Light as a Feather. Maybe my second favorite jazz album? Maybe? Well, actually, there's a few more coming up that might actually top this now. Chick Corea. Oh, that Chick Corea, Light as a Feather is an album that I got for free, luckily. There's a place around here that it's a bookstore that people put free books that the store won't take, and some people put records in there too that the records they won't take. I usually don't get lucky and score records there, and plus I don't get to go out there too often anymore because it's at least 40 miles away. Here's Chick Corea. It says Blue Note, but I don't know if that's the official name of the album or not, because it's called the Blue Note Reissue Series. Let's see what it says on the label itself. It just says Chick Corea, the Blue Notes Reissue Series. So I'm not sure if this is called Blue Note or if it has an alternate title. I feel like it had an alternate title when I looked it up. I don't remember. Stan Getz with guest artist Lorindo Almeida. Almeida. I can't pronounce anything. Jazz Samba, Stan Getz, Charlie Bird. 2 jazz solos play fresh contemporary sounds from modern Brazilian folk music. I'm trying to remember if one of those Stan Getz somebody got for free, but I can't remember now. Jazz Goes to College, Dave Brubeck Quartet. This was a good find. I found that at a flea market. Concert by the Sea, Earl Gardner, which I put in the category jazz piano, but it's great. It's really, really great. Here's one of my favorite albums I own, and no, a lot of people have probably never heard of it. It's called Big Band Jazz, and is by the Rob McConnell and the Boss Brass. Now, this is a mixture of big band and jazz, but this thing rocks. It rocks pretty hard. I really, really recommend getting it if you can find it somewhere. Heavy Weather, Weather Report. And Sweet Nighter, Weather Report. Now, I don't know if every record I'm showing is technically straight jazz or not, but some of it is controversial, or but I'm showing it all anyway. Bob James 1. I love Bob James. I just picked up this one, and I haven't listened to it yet because I have to still clean it. I got some sleeves coming in the mail. I'm going to be cleaning a lot of my records that I got recently. Got Bob James 3. I need Bob James 2 and I need Bob James 4. Got Bob James Heads. Bob James Touchdown. Bob James All Around Town live album. I don't know if these are all in order. Lucky 7. Earl is it Earl Klug? Earl Klug and Bob James. And another one. This one's called Two of a Kind. This one's called One on One. Now here is a jazz band that's more funk jazz, and it is the Brecker Brothers. Funk jazz. And another Brecker Brothers. This one's just called the Brecker Brothers. This one's called Don't Stop the Music. I think I put them out of order. I think this is the debut. We have Brecker Brothers back to back. We got Heavy Metal Bebop by the Brecker Brothers. And Detente. I love the Brecker Brothers. I put them up there with like Bob James as more of a experimental type jazz. I just picked up this one. I haven't listened to it yet. It's Kenton's West Side Story, electrifying jazz arrangements of music from West Side Story. Here's another weird one. Tom Brown, which is, I guess, started out kind of jazz, but then kind of went hip-hop somewhere along the way. Here's Brown Sugar. And this is Love Approach. This has got his Funkin' for Jamaica. Now this one I haven't listened to. Is another one I got to clean. This is Magic. I don't know where this one fits in at. I know when he did Rock and Radio here, he kind of went towards electro hip hop. Rock and Radio is more of electro hip hop type song. I can't remember the rest of the album if it was more hip hop or not. But this one definitely have more of a hip hop feel. This is Tommy Gunn. This really has an electro hip hop feel. So he kind of got away from jazz on this one. But I love it though, because I love electro. I don't remember how this one sounded, but it's called Oregon. This was a free one, and it was really, really good. I was surprised at how good it was. I got one more stack to go. Plus this big box set. I'll show this real quick. A treasury of jazz greats. I got this at a flea market. I think I paid a couple bucks for it. It's got a lot of records in here. I forget how many. It's a Reader's Digest set. It's got Louis Armstrong, Count Basie. It's got Dave Brubeck, Gene Krupa, Billie Holiday, Artie Shaw, Art Tatum, and a few others. 8 records. Next we got is Lee Oskar. I think more like jazz fusion on that one. Woody Herman and the Thundering Herd, King Cobra. Since I'm getting in the jazz, sometimes I'm influenced by the album covers on whether I'm going to buy it or not. I'll admit I bought this because of the album cover. I was like, oh, it's got to be good. Look at that album cover. And it's jazz. Okay, this one is, I don't know if I have this categorized right. Maybe I should put this more on the lines of Santana and Frank Zappa. But it's Viva Tirado, El Chicano. It has a jazz feel to it, but it has more of a funk soul jazz feel to it. And kind of a rockin', kind of a rock, not jazz, or not funk soul, more like rock soul jazz feel to it. So I don't know if I should have it. I think I have that miscategorized. Herbie Mann with Flute to Boot. Now we're coming up on jazz guitar stuff that I have here. So some of the stuff I have kind of categorized, some of it I don't. Tough Guitar by Al Caiola, if I pronounced that correctly. Oh, it's funny that he has a song on here called Big Noise from Winketta, from the motion picture Let's Make Music, because I also have Big Noise from Winketta. Even though this might be considered more of a big band album than jazz, I kind of just wanted to keep it together. I felt it kind of went with these because that's a Command Records, and some of these are Command Records that I'm showing. Not all of them, but this next one is. This is Mr. Big, Tony Mottola. See, actually the Winketta one is not a guitar jazz one, so it's miscategorized. This one is guitar jazz. This is a good one as well. All these are good. We got the best of the 50 guitars of Tommy Garrett. And then we have more 50 guitars in love, the 50 guitars of Tom Garrett. Now this one is more of a classical guitar, so I don't know if I have this miscategorized, but I wanted to keep the guitar stuff together. John Williams' Greatest Hits, The Guitar. I think this was more classical guitar. But whatever. And that's not the John Williams that you're thinking of. It's not Star Wars. Piano jazz. I got this one for free in the free bin. Bent Fabric Never Teased the Tigers. He has a whole bunch of animal cover albums with animals on them. I should say that. If you could see the back there. I like this. I like that a lot. Here's my George Benson collection. Honestly, I haven't listened to these yet. I've only listened to one of them. Take 5. Body Talk. Try to go through these ones quicker. In Concert. Here's his, I think his famous one, Breezin'. I think he's jazz, isn't he? I thought he. I don't know if I don't think I miscategorized this. I don't remember now. More of soul jazz. I can't remember. In Flight. Weekend in L.A. Now we have. I don't know if I miscategorized this. I don't know if this was big band or jazz. But Quincy Jones' Birth of a Band. I can't remember this one. I only listened to this one once, and I don't remember if I miscategorized this one or not. I don't remember how this one sounded either, but I liked it. If that makes any sense. Matrix, Tail of the Whale, or is it Tail of the Whale the group or the album? I forgot on this one. I bet Tail of the Whale is probably the album. Oh, we got Wes Montgomery, A Day in the Life. He also does covers. I think all these are covers. Day in the Life, Watch What Happens When a Man Loves a Woman, California Nights, Angel, Eleanor Rigby, Willow Weep for Me, Windy, Trust in Me, and The Joker. Now this one I liked a lot. Which one was it? I think it was this one. I bought some records off someone off one of the Facebook groups, and he sent me a record that didn't work and it worked, and as a replacement he gave me some money back, and I think and sent me a free record. I think I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was this one, and it was really, really good. This is more guitar jazz. Jimmy Smith and Wes Montgomery, The Further Adventures of Jimmy and Wes. And I also have Volume 2, The Best of Wes Montgomery. This has got California Dreamin' on it. Now we got Richard T. Strokin. And we got Richard T. Natural Ingredients. And we got Jeff Lorber Fusion, Water Sign. I don't remember if I like this one or not, but it was Joan Armstrong. I believe this was jazz. I only listened to it once. I bought it because of the key on the front. You see the key right there? You can actually feel that a little bit. It's kind of cool. And it's called The Key. I don't remember if I miscategorized this one or not. I only listened to it once. It was Odyssey. I don't remember if this was more jazz or if this was more disco. So, Tommy Mottola management and directed by Joe Sample, The Hunter. And the last of the regular jazz ones, Al Gray, Basic Gray. Now these, let's see, this one here says jazz on it, but it's, I consider this more of a big band than jazz. But it's called The World's Greatest Jazz Band. Mainly doing, I think, like, folk country type songs like Ghost Riders in the Sky, Yellow Rose of Texas. These last two I'm going to show here are vocal jazz. I got both of these out of the free bin. I only listened to one of them, and that was this one, Hot 2. I liked it. It's the University of Northern Colorado Jazz Studies program. I like this a lot. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. And this one I haven't listened to, but maybe I'll listen to this one soon. the LA Jazz Choir from All Sides. I'm assuming this is going to be just like that one. That kind of style of jazz, vocal jazz. So it could be good. Hey, I'll take anything for free to experiment. So I hope you liked my collection. I wish it was bigger, but you know, money, and I don't get out record collecting anymore too often. But there's so many more that I want. So many more. I want more Miles Davis, definitely. So thanks for watching.